So I'm taking off the supercharger so that I can get to coolant lines underneath and the NOx sensors. I've got at least one failed sensor. And I'm replacing the fuel injectors, which are way the heck up underneath of the intercoolers. But I thought I would talk about getting the thermostat housing off. There's these 4 bolts right there, and those 2 here and here. These you can see from the top. The other ones underneath are under there. Surprisingly, this one, that one, and the lower one on that side there are relatively easy to get to. You can get a T-handle. It's a T30 Torx on my car, which is an 05. You can get a T-handle in there and crack them. The bottom one is a little rough on both sides because the clearance between there and the fan is not very much. So if you're unlucky and your stator part of the fan casting is in the way, then you got to do something else. For those bottom ones, I used a T30 bit and a screwdriver handle, and put a wrench on the screwdriver to get some leverage because they're on kind of tight and they crack loose. But that bottom one right there, I damn near stripped it. It was hairy going for a minute, but they even though they're Torx, they can and will strip. Let's see, I got one in my pocket here. There we go. Actually, that's the one right there. Get it to focus. There we go. So as you can see, it tried to strip on me. So I'm going to replace these things with deep socket hex. That'll solve that problem. Another pain in the ass is, I've yet to get started on it, but the EGR's got to come out, and it's buried back there. Got wiring harness all over the place, so I'm gonna have to unhook that and see if I can move the wiring harness out of the way. I think that I got to get under the car for part of it, which is interesting because I would have had this thing up on ramps if I had known I needed to get under it for anything. But I didn't do that, so I'm gonna have to jack it up. I'm really not on a very stable location here, kind of sitting crooked, so I'm gonna have to be really careful. Maybe I'll jack it up and see if I can jack it up high enough to put a ramp under put it up on ramps. I don't know. Yeah, I pulled the grill off because I didn't want to knee it while I was working. You got to take the cowl completely off, get the cabin vent, a cabin air filter and housing, the entire thing, which is right there. I've got my ECM connector all pulled apart because I was doing some electrical troubleshooting. What else? Oh, yeah, don't be surprised if you get your throttle body off. It sits in there like that, right on the intake there. But don't be surprised if you get your throttle body off and these coolant lines are a bear because they're held on with these weird clamps that are kind of strange. I got one in my pocket as well, so let me get it out. There it is. They look like that. You kind of see how it works. This little tang right there, when it's squeezed shut, see it goes up that ramp and it'll click into place. So popping it off is not so bad. You can stick a little screwdriver right in that slot. right in that little slot right there, and just kind of lever it like that and it'll pop out. I thought they were the kinds that were just you know, clamped on permanently. That would have sucked. The other thing is, that looks all nice, but my goodness, it is filthy. Starting to get a little blow by. So anyway, supercharger is going to come off. We're going to change the oil in it. I'm going to put an overdrive pulley on it. I'm racing against the clock because it's Thursday now and I got a trip on Sunday. So I want to get the valve covers off. I need to take the intercoolers off in order to get the valve covers off. I got to get the intercoolers off anyway in order to change the fuel injectors, and I know I've got 2 bad on this bank and 1 bad on that bank, most likely 2 and 1. Since you're taking this off, you got to replace the intake. I think they're called intake manifold gasket. It's like a 1-piece rubber casting that's got 4 gasket pieces, 1 for each of the intake runners. Once I get that off, I'm hoping that the valve covers will be pretty easy to get off. No idea, but can't see how they'd be all that onerous. Just bolts around the periphery. There's a ton of cooling hoses. I didn't drain the cooling system. The radiator's still full, relatively full, because there's the bottom hose right there. So the system is mostly full. Obviously the intercoolers are probably not, but so I'll have to go through the recharge process there, which shouldn't be too bad. I won't be able to, like, you know, put a vacuum on it like they do in shop, but I think I'll be able to get it good enough. Yeah, that's it. Wish me luck.